Thank you very much. First, I would like really to thank Konrad Adenauer and, of course, the Ben Gurion University, the Center for the Study of European Politics and Society, for having this fascinating panel. Unfortunately, due to limitations and the legislation will start in the Knesset within less than an hour, so I will have to be there. So I will not be able to stay for the whole panel, but it was important for me to come here and to speak perhaps, as you just mentioned, less about science, unfortunately, and more about politics, because we cannot detach this very interesting and sometimes dangerous thing from every other sphere of our lives. I can just say on a very personal note that I live in Israel for 25 years. My family emigrated from former Soviet Union. And as we now speak about the transformation that the country underwent during this time of, during these 25 years, I can tell you that I have a very vivid picture of what Israel used to be and what the educational system of Israel used to be as I began my studies in university in about 95, 96, and what it is today. And I can tell you that there is no question, it goes without saying, that the amazing progress that Israel made in every sphere, in technological sphere, in science, in development, was made due to this opening of horizons. I'm using this word intentionally, also because we are now the participant of this very prestigious program, Horizon 2020, and due to ability to cooperate with our colleagues throughout the Europe on very, very good terms. Which instigates, of course, the price studies of search, of survey, and of investigation. I can tell you that although there is hard to say something different about this progress that was made. And when I'm sitting in the committees, in various committees in the Knesset, also in the scientific committee, nobody will really argue, that we could achieve the place where we are today, which is quite a good place, especially when we're looking at the region and also as we look at the tempo of the development, without the increasing cooperation with the European Union. Also within the frame of various treaties that were signed and programs that we included in. But will we be able to continue this kind of cooperation? This is a question for the future. And I can tell you that although Israel today benefits from every possible research program, scholarships, possibility to exchange minds, which is quite important for scientific mind, to exchange opinions and so on. Legislation that is about to harm our relation with Europe is on the table of the Knesset members as we speak. Not all of them are dealing with the more narrow issues of scientific cooperation, naturally, but more of this legislation is dealing with the nature of relation between us and the EU. And if we are talking about something that was discussed widely in the EU and in Israel during the last year, and I'm speaking, of course, about labeling of products that were produced beyond the green line. So I can tell you that there is also the vice versa process that is going on, and it is labeling of the EU and various institutions of the EU in very specific way, in framing of this union and its activities, various activities within Israel itself or in the West Bank or Gaza. In a very negative light, negative way. So what we dealt during the last year is various forms of legislation that are to limit the possibility of EU of investing and contributing to the development in the Palestinian territories. Various attempts also to limit the possibility of EU stand behind human rights organizations and others. And very significant, I think, is the angle that was taken by the many outlets of the media that frame EU as a very dangerous power to Israel. So I'm going to the extent of saying that many Israelis today, if you would just go and ask them on the street, they would tell you that well, yes, EU is our largest market and it is a very important partner in cooperation, scientific cooperation and other, but it's also a country that damages our national security to this extent. I would not be going, to this length and, saying it if I did not feel that it is very important, because if we are talking about young scientists that are about to enter the kind of programs such as were offered by the Horizon 2020, then we are speaking, of course, about the possibility of them opening up to their European counterparts, willingness to make business and to promote joint projects along with Europe, and also ability, if we are speaking about law and about the possibilities that some kind of measures will be taken by specific countries within the EU against, for example, Israeli scientific institutions or bodies. So this is something that I think we should be dealing with directly without any postponing, because we are talking about generation time of people who are growing up and conceiving very wrong idea, in my opinion, about what is EU, what are the opportunities of us having good relations with this body in the future, and also sharing common values. One of them is enlightenment, so this is something that again, sounds already almost as a curse word in Israel when you're speaking about enlightenment vis-a-vis pressure of the religious organizations and bodies and so on. And it worries me that we are indeed going to perhaps not different paths, but we are already not going in the same way. So this is something that I think that we should be dealing in the Knesset, and we are dealing with this, and we had recently a meeting for the discussion of the involvement of the EU in Territory C. So this is a specific meeting that we had very recently. It was a lobby meeting, and we are about, many of us who are also in the specific caucus for the promotion of Israel and the EU relations, are very committed, and we feel that it's our duty to promote further on this fruitful cooperation, so we can both of us can benefit from it, and pressure more the various elements within our government to stop the incitement. I would, don't have any other word, unfortunately, for this phenomena, so that it will be not endanger the course of our relations in the future, in the scientific sense and every other sense as well. So I will stop on this because I know that there are many, many people who are waiting for their turn and have very deep knowledge in this field, and I will be able to stay some more to listen to what the other panelists have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, member of Knesset.